There are a lot of things to be excited about at this time of year when your team is going to play in yet again another Super Bowl. But we're still more than a week away from the actual game itself. It's kind of like those extra few days before Christmas. Before that's not Christmas Eve. My birthday is the day before that. So we're right now in like the proverbial December 20th of the Super Bowl climb, I think. But I just found out what may have been the most exciting piece of Super Bowl week news that I have learned yet. I just found out that Tucker D. Franklin is going to be down there in New Orleans for Media Night on Monday. Nate, listen, I love you. You're a hell of a journalist. You're a great reporter, a great writer. I'm glad you're going to be down there for that. But all I need you to do on Monday is box out for Tucker. That man's got a job to do.
Thanks for listening to KC Sports Network, proudly presented by Emprise Bank. If you're thinking about starting a business or know someone who is, check out Emprise Bank's SBA loans. It's always good to know your options, and they can be your partner in possible.
I'm hoping that Tucker's going to hit some backup Eagles lineman with a little swim move, a little swim rip to get Tucker through the gates that you must get through to ask only the most serious, only the most normal questions on Media Night. But again, Nate, I mean, that's days away. You right now, I have to imagine you're probably well rested. You've packed your bags. You've got your flights all figured out. You're probably ready to go.
Look at me. I'm so unserious right now, guys. Yes, as some people have said or have suggested in the comments, I'm okay. I'm well-ish. As I told the fellas, not a great Tuesday night, Wednesday morning. Pump the fluids, kids. Thank God they didn't talk yesterday. The Chiefs talk today. So I'm okay. I've been given a lot of worthy advice as to what should pack for 8 to 9 days in New Orleans. I shout out to Nora Princiana. I talked to her from the Nora from the Ringer. I talked to her today, and I told Nora, yeah, freshman 15. What about a Super Bowl 30?
What about the Super Bowl 59?
30. Yeah, or that, So I had a awesome chat with Nora. And yeah, we're just, a lot of my friends, colleagues, as we try to get ready for 9 to 8 days in New Orleans, having already dealt with some level of food poisoning, look, man, it can only get better from here. And so, as Rich Fan says, yes, Nate Taylor, limited rest. That was me yesterday and today, I guess.
I would say illness might even make the injury report at this point.
Illness was yesterday. Yeah.
Illness yesterday, today rest, and it was a good suggestion from the chat from Dion. Pack stretchy pants. That feels good. You're gonna want to have a nice array. That feels like a long time to be in New Orleans. We'll get into. Hey everybody, just so you know, not a whole lot of breaking news the last 2 days. We're gonna break down a lot of things, but it feels like a pretty long trip.
8 days of beignets. I told Michelle Steele from ESPN, shout out to her as well, that last year, after spending 9 days in Las Vegas, I didn't sleep, kids, the night the Chiefs won the Super Bowl. I did my job. It was about 2 a.m. Of course, I went to the casino to eat. Okay, because I was hungry. I needed food at 2 a.m. at a casino in Vegas. And then I called Southwest, went back to my hotel room, packed all my shit up, and told Southwest, get me the hell out of here. And I flew from Las Vegas to Long Beach, California to get home.
No.
Hey, I can't take it anymore. I just ate a cheeseburger at 2:30 at a casino in Vegas. What's the first flight out? Well, sir, you might have to go west to go east. I don't care. Book it.
The fact that being on that plane, going the wrong direction,
yes,
was more spiritually fulfilling for you than staying in your hotel room.
Right.
Is crazy and powerful. That is a powerful way of telling that story, because I certainly understand the feeling of I'm ready to be home from this thing, right? However long you're gone, wherever you're at. But I don't know if there's ever been a time I've been more happy to be on an airplane or also in an airport than I was just being in any hotel room. Like that's always a little bit hard to like unvelcro yourself from bed. But when you're leaving from day 8 in Las Vegas on no sleep and a 2:30 casino cheeseburger,
yep,
desperate times. Desperate times call for desperate measures.
Now, one of the things that is so interesting about Long Beach Airport, which I did not know because I would have no reason to ever fly there.
Palm trees, beautiful.
Yeah, the airport is technically not all inside. It's an open air airport.
It's an open airport. I had no idea.
With palm trees. It's really pretty. Oh no, what is Twitter telling me? Did Justin Tucker do something stupid?
Dude, let me say this real quick.
Or Blue Sky, whatever these things
I thought
are.
It was a Blue Sky one. You're good.
Sorry.
I have turned off all of my push notifications. And today I logged on, looked at Twitter, was making sure I was up to speed for all this, caught up on press conferences, all that good stuff. Had a nice leisurely, what day is it? Thursday?
Mm-hmm.
Had a nice leisurely Thursday, caught up on everything, but I made it until it was 3:45 p.m.
Nice.
I went, the Chiefs are opening the practice window for Sky Moore? That's crazy. That's probably the craziest bit of NFL news I'm going to see all day. Justin Tucker did what? Justin Tucker was on the allegedly was on that Deshaun Watson playbook before Deshaun Watson?
Right.
Allegedly. Right. I allegedly.
Timeout. 30-second timeout. Come in, fellas. Come in. Timeout. Come in.
Not too close.
All right, step it up. Come on, here we go. This really isn't a play call per se. This is just some advice. You're an athlete. You've been working hard at your job. Even if you're not an athlete, right? I'm sure she's a lovely gal. She's been certified. She's been trained. She got a whole other life outside of your penis, okay? So when you get a massage, allegedly or not, just appreciate the service that is being done from a professional expertise. She's not there to massage your penis, okay?
Do you think that there's any sort? I know this allegedly happened.
Neither is he, by the way. He's not there either. Okay, for that.
In general, I know that this is ironic given the unofficial title of Tuesday's episode of Only Weird Games.
Mm-hmm.
But in general, don't
even just the massage is to relax the muscles, to get some tension. Here's to help you recover quicker.
Hey, fellas, huddle up. Time out. Get in here on me. Quick huddle. Hey, everybody, here's the play call. All right? Don't. Stop it. Quit that. Knock it off. Break.
All right, great.
It's not that. It's just, come on. Anyway, I didn't know about any of that until 45 minutes ago. Sky Moore, Justin Tucker, blah, blah, blah. And Sky Moore,
congrats to you.
Congrats to you. Sorry, time out, Nate. Huddle up. The timeout. Yep. Come in here on me. All right, we burned all three of them in the first 10 minutes. Listen. When I said when I said I saw Sky Moore and Justin Tucker, Sky Moore has had his practice window open
Yes.
and is out there with his teammates.
Correct.
And we love that for him.
Yes.
And then full stop, total subject change, Justin Tucker allegedly.
Yeah.
There you go. That's what you missed if you haven't been on Twitter or Blue Sky or Threads or I don't know, out in the world trying to figure out what's going on in the NFL right now.
Right. Just let the lady do her job.
All the time, regardless of what her job is.
Correct. So
just as a rule, please.
So remember, kids, if I remember correctly, was Sky Moore in uniform for Super Bowl 58? Because I believe he was, as like a reward for his rehab and his return to practice and the implications of, this will jumpstart his third season in the NFL. He was in uniform, kids. I do remember this now because he ran routes in the pregame warmups because they gave the reward to Sky Moore, not Kadarius Toney, who was there but inactive. Not in uniform.
Sky didn't play. I don't know if he was active or not, but he had no.
Yes, he was in uniform. Did not play a snap. Okay. I remember being in Vegas, seeing him run routes and being like, "Looks pretty good." Like, I don't know, Sky Moore. I mean, again, pregame speed, y'all. But I was like, "Oh, that's a good route right there." You think he'll get any playing time? He did not, but he was there in an emergency. If something happened to Justin Watson, so.
And like last week, the Chiefs called up Justin Ross, and then he was inactive on game day. Now for him, practice squad elevation gets you a little game check change, and being inactive doesn't change any of that. So maybe a little change in Justin Ross's pocket after what was probably a little bit of a frustrating year to just be on the practice squad this whole time. So good for them, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, there's your news. Also, just a very, very light one that I think has a pretty clear explanation. But the Chiefs practiced inside today, was my understanding, and Jawan Taylor was limited. He's been limited when they've practiced inside with that knee injury. Is that all above board?
Yes. And being that the game is going to be in New Orleans, it will be in a dome. So there's no. I wonder if Andy will have them practice all 3 days indoors. Now these are modified practices. They're not like game week ones. But there's some game plan specific stuff that they want to get to. They don't have multiple fields like they do outside compared to being indoors. They just have one field for the indoor facility. So they might be indoors, today, tomorrow, Saturday. They fly on Sunday to New Orleans, and then you get back to the weekly routine of Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So, pretty uneventful day from a practice standpoint. But everybody officially, as I understand, everybody in the organization returned to work today. So they basically had 2 days of champagne celebration. Order your Super Bowl tickets, as Justin Reed told us today. The Chiefs have to win, not because of a three-peat, not because of personal pride, and not because you want to be champions. I need us to win to break even.
He said with the price of tickets, he's got what, 30 tickets already?
Yes, because he's from his home state is.
Did he say
Louisiana.
He's from Baton Rouge? Was that right?
Closer to Baton Rouge than New Orleans, yes.
Okay. But he said his brother's house is right around where they're staying and everything. So yeah, Justin Reed said, I got 30 of these tickets. They asked about the prices. So we got to win just to break even. I think that was the line of pressers today, but I'm curious, Nate, as Super Bowl prep has begun out there at Arrowhead, as you mentioned, saving the Kareem Hunt discussion because we're going to talk about him and the running backs a little bit more. What else stood out to you? We got Justin Reed, Trent McDuffie, Xavier Worthy, and then Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes. Anything from any of them kind of give you a little bit of a start of where Super Bowl prep's at?
Ladies and gentlemen, we stumbled upon something today that I find to be incredibly fascinating. And it has something to do with what I'm writing today for The Athletic. Now, I'm not saying Birdman's rubbing his hands right now. No. He'll do that on Thursday, next Thursday. But
I'm tapping my fingers together. I'm not rubbing my hands. I'm tapping my fingers in anticipation.
I have some information that I did not know before today. And then got some news gathering that leads one to believe it might be time to prepare Vic Fangio to not allow the Chiefs to get in the red zone. Because if you remember, kids, and I'll take you through a brief history lesson. You see, anytime the Chiefs have won a Super Bowl in the Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes era, something has occurred. They have ran a trick play in the red zone that either was a touchdown or led to a touchdown. Of course, in Philadelphia, they understand corn dog 2 times. Andy Reid, not really prompted, just told us that they ran a modernized version of 65 toss power trap in the second quarter of the AFC Championship game?
Yeah, that's snuck by all of us.
What?
Yeah.
Now, there are some differences. Yes, Todd. The Kansas City Chiefs, with their season on the line, ran a modernized version of Hank Schramm's 65 toss power trap. They did it right before halftime from the 3-yard line on a direct snap to Isaiah Pacheco with a pulling Trey Smith. Okay. I think Matt Derrick was like, have you guys ever ran that play?
Yeah.
Oh, we ran it on Sunday.
Yeah.
You want to ask me more about it, Matt Derrick? I'm sorry, what?
I've never heard Andy Reid volunteer some specifics on a play that they ran. Obviously, this has the historical significance.
Yes.
But usually that comes out either post-game or well after the fact.
After the season, yeah.
I'm glad that you also were enamored by this because I found it fascinating.
So you might be wondering, well, Nate, why would they run 65 toss power trap this season in an important game? Well, as you all know, they were playing for the Lamar Hunt Trophy.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, Lamar Hunt was the owner when the Chiefs won Super Bowl IV in New Orleans against the Minnesota Vikings. One of the biggest upsets in the AFL NFL championship era before it was known as the Super Bowl. And of course, Hank Stram was the first coach, AFL or NFL, to be mic'd up during the sport's grandest game of them all. To which he told everybody on the sideline late in the second quarter when the Chiefs needed a touchdown to take a commanding lead against the Vikings, 65 toss power trap. He must have said it like 44 times. I'm exaggerating. And he said, look, it might pop wide open. And sure enough, that hole is as gaping as you will ever see in the goal line. And Mike Garrett runs right through it. Easiest touchdown he'll ever score in his life. And the Chiefs never look back. They win the game. And because Hank Stram, who is a Hall of Fame coach, is mic'd up, it becomes glorified in all of NFL history. So, 65 toss power trap. Well, Josh, I looked something up today on Pro Football Reference, which anybody can do.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what year we are in the franchise history of the Kansas City Chiefs? What season we're in?
I believe it's the 62nd.
Yes and no. When you combine, when you combine
65th?
when you combine the Dallas Texans,
Okay.
we are in the 65th season.
Okay, I'm with it.
Of the Kansas City Chiefs franchise. Of course, as Ice Pyro says, yes, the Chiefs video production department is literally named 65 Toss Power Trap in the 65th season. In the last home game of Arrowhead Stadium that year, they just ran a direct snap to Isaiah Pacheco.
I'll tell you what, didn't feel like a 65 Toss Power Trap at the moment. That was a running back there taking the direct snap.
Yeah. So
I'm surprised.
Now the question is, if you're willing to do 65 Toss Power Trap in the AFC Championship game, what the hell are you going to do in the Super Bowl?
66 Toss Power Trap. Is that how that works? I just found an interesting video here on the Chiefs website of Chiefs reporter, I believe it's BJ Cassell, takes us back to January 11th, 1970. Tulane Stadium in New Orleans, Louisiana. Interesting. Super Bowl 4. Interesting.
I just want people to be, because we can't talk about it moving forward, but it was very interesting that Andy Reid said, no, we did that. Make sure the Eagles watch that tape.
I want the Eagles to watch Super Bowl 4 as a team. I need them to scout that like it's my game tape.
So just keep that in mind when the Chiefs are in the red zone. And I would hope Vic Fangio understands that when the Chiefs are in the red zone in a Super Bowl with this collection of players and coaches, best be on your toes and be ready for anything, and do not assume what they want you to assume. Oh no, he's just going in he was going in motion. The hell is that?
Why is he over there by himself? Wait a second. Why is he going the other direction? What the hell? We're going to get some real weird nonsense.
Of course we are.
Very exciting. They play weird games in the regular season. The weird play calls come out in the postseason. This show is relevant year-round in that regard. Let's do this, Nate. Let's take our early break here and just set ourselves up for success. We burned a lot of early timeouts at the very beginning. Let's burn one more now. You hydrate as necessary. We'll take a timeout, come back, talk about the running back situation, and why you wanted to discuss Kareem Hunt a little bit more.
Shop Chiefs tickets and more with no fees. Plus, save big with code KCSN at ticketsforless.com, the official ticket provider of KC Sports Network.
We've seen how the split has gone. We heard from Kareem Hunt at the podium again today. Obviously, as this year has gone, he has been a kind of remarkable story on a number of levels, given, as he even mentioned today, I think we knew this already, but I don't think he had said it this way, that like after Pacheco got hurt, that Kareem Hunt's agent told him, was like, why don't you text him? I don't know, just text him and find out. Like, and look, the suggestion worked.
Yes.
My response would have been, you're my agent.
Right?
Why don't you text them? I don't text Little Caesars, asking for a deal.
Well,
I had a relationship with them.
Yeah. Thank you. It's gonna be like, it'd be one thing if he was like, no, just
text David Tepper. No, it made sense. And the wedding story and all that we've heard now, and the three of them, Kareem said he texted Mahomes and Andy Reid at that time, and got a text back from Andy a little after. You can take us through memory lane. That was the first thing. He was like, yeah, my agent was like, why don't you text him? I was like, well, and then I was like, yeah, you know what? Why don't I do that? And also, why don't I go ahead and take 100% of this contract? Doing all the legwork.
Yeah, it's almost like they did a soft launch. It's like, hey, see if she's still up.
Yes,
see if she still wants to come over. Because again, guys, she's off the clock at that point. Anyway,
theoretically, you built some sort of relationship,
right?
I would like to believe that we don't have to explain that to you every time, but apparently, in general, we do.
Because you already got her. Yeah, you already got her number. Hey,
and
you
also
should probably use it.
Free extra advice. If this is the first time you're texting that number, back to the earlier advice. Don't.
So anyway, yes, they already have a rapport and relationship. So again, it's like a soft, just a little trial balloon. Just, hey, well, how the wind blowing, and then I get to work, and then I talk with Veach and Berganzi, and all right, when can we coordinate the workout? But so we go through all the questions with Kareem, and we get to how he experienced obviously being a champion on Sunday, going through because the question, and I felt it was necessary, but I asked Patrick, like, hey man, like, you cannot invite, and this is just for us as all humans, whether or not you are the world sports greatest quarterback, you can't invite everybody to your wedding. Right. We would all love to. It's physically impossible. So that invitation is pretty significant. And I asked Patrick, like, why it was important to him, which again is an extension of Brittany, and I appreciate Patrick bringing that in. Why was it important to have your wedding day? Why it was important to have Kareem be there, even though he wasn't your teammate anymore, even though we all know, what happened towards the end of the 2018 season. And everybody having the presence of mind to know that if you text Andy Reid, he's going to get back to you, which tells you a lot about who he is as a coach. Okay. But also it tells you that as much as we can all plan for these things, and as much as we can all try to like understand the salary cap and the roster construction and the roster manipulations and mechanisms and all that, it really comes down to just like people and relationships. And can you get, is both sides comfortable working with one another again? And so that was really, really fascinating. And then, I mean, I figured I sometimes you ask questions and you know the answer already. But it's like, hey man, I know the plan was to not have you be getting all those touches against the Chargers.
Yes.
I know that as a fact.
Yeah.
How'd your body do the next day? And he says, look, I could barely get out of bed. And I was like, I know. But also, the reason I asked that is because he's now well aware enough to know, and professional enough, and honestly determined enough that he started his whole routine, and his whole recovery process is so different now than it was in 2018. And that has allowed him to be the feature back for a team that's going for a three-peat and being in the Super Bowl. It is it's like the biggest surprise storyline I could have ever dreamed up before the season began. And to see the way it's already been this successful it's remarkable, but it's a testament to everybody involved. And, Patrick made it very clear. guys, I genuinely love Kareem Hunt. I didn't know my wedding was going to be the first part in a recruiting reconciliation pitch. But people can visualize as Patrick and Brittany are dancing, and we just got married, and I think it was in Hawaii. Oh, incredible! Can you imagine the waves? Oh, waves crashing on the rocks. Oh, beautiful. Somewhere in the freaking corners, Andy Reid probably drawing up plays with Kareem Hunt. That happened.
You don't think Andy was out there cutting a little bit of a rug? What kind of song do you think gets Andy on the dance floor at a wedding? It's not more than one song. He went out there for 6 straight tracks, but
ooh,
you know what? I'm gonna answer my own question right now. I think there's absolutely one definitive situation when Andy Reid is on the dance floor.
Mm-hmm.
When Tammy asks him to be.
Oh, well, sure.
Easy. Yeah. Just to quick answer of that baseline. I feel maybe you slow it down a little bit. Yeah. Ball game.
Yeah, I mean, Beach Boys is pretty great.
Beach Boys is pretty good.
What do you think went through Andy's mind when Travis was like, make a little love? Get down there. I'm like, sir.
I don't know. The delayed response from the Arrowhead crowd made me wonder what anyone was thinking. And this wasn't, drunk Travis Kelce on stage at the end of the parade. This was post-game Travis Kelce. This is amped Travis Kelce.
Yeah.
I see the Sunshine Band.
Ooh. One of the best wedding songs is They Say They Got a Brand New Dance. It's called the Cupid Shuffle.
If someone can provide me video of Andy Reid dancing to the Cupid Shuffle, I will pay TMZ money for that footage.
Now walk it by yourself. Yeah, that's what I anticipate.
I was not even on the dance floor during the Cupid Shuffle at my wedding. I was upstairs. I don't like line dances. I just don't. The electric slide and the Cupid Shuffle. I'm happy for everyone else to have a great time with it. I love that. Go for it. I went and got a drink during the line dancing section.
Oh, man.
In light of the running back situation in general here, obviously Kareem Hunt was the lead guy against Buffalo, both in snap count and usage.
Mm-hmm.
But it's an interesting, even the way they specifically got used. I'm gonna throw out some of the numbers at you, and then we can kind of figure out if any of this is going to change against the Eagles or if this is kind of the standard now. Kareem Hunt takes 38 snaps. That's 58%. Isaiah Pacheco had exactly half, 19 snaps on 29%. And Samaje Perine had 10, obviously one to ice the game at the end. I don't know how any of that went for the final moments of the game, like the final actual snap. So that those numbers might be inflated or deflated by 1 or 2 here or there. It's like Carson Steele got 6. I think that was it. But
yeah,
you have that mix, but then Hunt gets 17 carries to Pacheco's 5. He's much more productive with those carries. But it's also like the offenses looked different with them out there. They asked those guys to do different things. And I think probably wisely, certainly the case for Perine, who did not carry the football, but had quite a large role in his limited snaps. Is this how it's going to be? Is there a larger role for Perine in this game, in the Super Bowl against the Eagles? Is this going to be even more Kareem Hunt and even less Pacheco? Do you have any feel for that?
If I had to guess right now, I would say that they're going to lean pretty heavy on Kareem Hunt. Now, Andy has not changed the status of who starts. Mm-hmm. That has still been Pacheco. That might still be the case. But I think they're going to lean on Kareem, perhaps even more particular in the red zone. And you could use Pacheco maybe between the 20s. One of the things that I find to be really telling of good coaching is the Chiefs saw Isaiah for about 4 snaps in Sunday's game against the Bills and said, okay, he's good for this. Scratch all that out.
Yep.
And one of the best design plays, and they have been doing this a little bit, but one of the best design plays was having both of them in the backfield. And so who do you key on if you're the defense? Well, this 29 guy's been getting the ball quite a lot. And why is he wide open in the flat? Like, you could just see all the Bills defenders when it's like, well, they only need a first down to kind of ice the game. Them using that 2 running back set is really interesting. And I'm eager to see if they can continue that, Josh, because Pacheco is the faster receiver, which is why they used him as the receiver to sort of ice the game. Now, it's unfortunate that Pacheco, slightly stepped out of bounds when he was trying to initiate contact and fall forward. But, they just unveiled this whole diamond backfield. And I'm like, well, yeah, that could be 2 tight ends. It could be 2 running backs. It could involve Carson Steele if you want to get even, crazier. So the Eagles have a better defense than the Buffalo Bills. But I do wonder if they can use some of the speed element from Pacheco as a receiver while still bludgeoning you down the field with Kareem Hunt. I think it'll mostly stay the same, but how they use those two, in my opinion, will be just as compelling as, like, do we see more Juju Smith-Schuster? Or is it, as Seth says, does it go back to being DeAndre Hopkins, as the primary X, and everything sort of flows through there? So that'll be telling. But I think Samaje's in a perfect role, and I wouldn't necessarily change what he's been asked to do.
Pacheco was also the target on the toss, reverse, swing back to Pacheco. I don't think he was the first read on that. Like, I think there was probably a deep shot downfield there. I haven't looked at that one again. But having him in that role makes sense. I would be okay if that was Pirine in moments like it was at the end of the game, where you don't need the most explosive receiver. You need the most competent one, right? Like, that's Samaje Perine out of the backfield. He's pass protector, pass catcher. Like, Pacheco lost his feet on the reverse. He falls out of bounds on the one you're referring to. I trust Perine to, like, pretty much always nail that assignment. But I'm so glad you mentioned the diamond backfield thing. I imagine people probably know what we're talking about. It's really a triangle, but Mahomes is sort of the other point of the diamond. There's 4 guys back there.
Yep.
And I know we've seen the motion into it. I imagine we've seen the motion out of it, but I cannot remember if we have. But the typical layout, like you were just saying, Nate, is Mahomes in the middle, flanked by usually Kelsey and Gray.
Yes.
And then a back behind him.
Yep.
Usually Hunt, I think, to this point.
Yes, it was Hunt primarily against the Bills.
And before you said that, I was just thinking, man, so here's the thing. You like this 2 running back situation. It's an interesting way to put the Eagles in some conflict, personnel-wise, assignment-wise, responsibility-wise. You need to have, if you're going to sacrifice that way, it's Kareem Hunt isn't Kyle Juszczyk, right? Like, it's not literally having a fullback out there. But you have to be willing to make some concessions. You're gonna have 2 backs and at least 1 tight end, and whoever's out here, you're gonna be going heavy. But if you do that with both backs out there, or to your give me Carson Steele.
Give me Carson Steele too.
Just surround Patrick Mahomes with backs. That's fine with me. That's something the Chiefs have not shown yet, but that they have shown, like, the scaffolding for. The groundwork for that is there, both in terms of the players they have and what they've shown just a little bit formationally.
Yes.
But, like, at this point, maybe it's just wishful thinking because I just think it's so fun. But at this point, I'd almost be a little surprised if we don't get a couple snaps of that. And then, look, man, maybe this is a 2026 postseason play. Then Mahomes motions out of the diamond, and then now all of a sudden, Wildcat, and Mahomes is catching a pass, and who knows? But I love when Andy Reid says, "All right, here's the new thing. That's actually kind of an old football thing, but it's new for us. And then here's how we're gonna spin off on top of that." It's the pinnacle of the sport from a design perspective. I love it.
Yeah, he gets 2 weeks, like legitimately about 12 days. That's all his mind's gonna be on. What trick play can I do on the plus side of the field in the red zone that will further advance my innovations as a football coach that I'll be remembered for? Because we have Wasp, we have the Rose Bowl, right? We have Corn Dog. I mean, he tried to do he tried to put Nick Bosa in conflict with a shovel pass with Corn Dog as like the dressing, just a little sauce on the other side, and he's like, "Wait, what?" that was supposed to go to Jerry McKinnon, but he's so wide ass open. Okay, I guess we win.
It's amazing. This conversation has given me the first shot of juice I needed for the actual Super Bowl football game. Because I haven't really thought about, how are the Chiefs and Eagles gonna match up? We've still got a lot of runway. I didn't want to oversell, but it's starting to bubble. I'm kind of ready for it. The funny thing, we'll talk a little more about the receivers, and you mentioned Juju, and so much of this today we've been talking about Kareem Hunt. And I would love to get more submissions for good topics like this. And KCSO's Christian Gumminger has set the standard very high here.
Yes,
because he had messaged me yesterday, maybe a couple days ago. Yeah, yesterday. Like, hey, I've been kicking something around here. Let me know what you think. And then I was like, perfect. Not only here are my thoughts on this, I would like to talk about this on Only Weird Games with my friend Nate Taylor. So Christian says, the 2024 Chiefs story is about nothing more than nothing going to plan. Hollywood Brown's out for most of the year. He's brought in to be wide receiver 1. Lose Rashee Rice for the season. He was going to be wide receiver 1. Mm-hmm. You have a injury to your number 1 running back that is followed up with a reunion. And genuinely, it was an exaggeration when you said earlier, genuinely the most surprising thing that could have happened this year. Like, within this, it absolutely baffling. Kareem Hunt comes back. He helps fix this running game and keeps the Chiefs' head above water through some difficult moments there of the offense. Christian mentions Travis Kelce having to be managed throughout this entire process. He played a ton of snaps, but he was not able to be the pass-catching focal point of the offense that he's been in recent years. And every plan at left tackle has failed. We are on plan ZZ here, and Joe Thuney has held his own over there, moving your all-pro guard to a different position. I'm going to add on from Jesse Newell yesterday morning tweeted, just in the AFC Championship game, the Chiefs' leading running back was someone who couldn't get an invite to an NFL training camp as he was recovering from his surgeries and all of that. The longest catch came from a wide receiver. The 4-13 Patriots paid $7 million to go away. And the game-sealing catch came from a running back cut from before the season in the Chiefs' own division. There is an unlikeliness about everything this team has done.
Yes.
The players who stepped up in the championship game and so many times at the regular season, and to Christian's point, the plan is not going to plan. The story has gone according to plan. The Chiefs are at the end where they expected to be.
Yes.
With such a ridiculously different path to get there. It's a fun that's narratives, man. Put that on my sweatshirt. That's the narratives of all of this. Maybe it's storylines, maybe it's bigger, maybe it's just story. It's unbelievable. I've got 2 kind of different directions on it that I think are especially impactful, but I'm curious what you think, as you've been in those rooms every available day this season. You've seen how not according to plan it's all gone, and yet you're still getting ready to pack a bag to go cover the Super Bowl again.
Insane. And it's an awesome point and something to really reflect on. Tight end 3. Who is he? Could be anybody. Jared Wiley, Jody Fortson, Peyton Hendershot. I mean, it's all on the coaching staff and the quarterback to keep this, like you said, afloat, but also to just stay steady in a world of chaos, in an offense of chaos. You're also trying to bring up a rookie along the way, and Xavier Worthy. He was not
successful, which they did successfully, by the way.
Yeah, he was only supposed to be a deep threat gadget guy. Then they said, "Oh wait, you got to be a receiver. You just got to start doing all the receiver things." It's been decided. I know that we announce. Is it during the NFL honors? I think it is. We have decided as a country that we announce the Hall of Fame inductees during Super Bowl week. That's what we do now. Can we bring Joe Thuney on the stage and just hand him a gold jacket now? Get his measurements? Like, I know it's coaching. I know Seth will say, Nate, he's not actually been that great. Get out of my face. He's a Hall of Fame left tackle. Playing left guard. Playing left tackle. So stupid.
Ridiculous.
Can you imagine? Von Miller is in Cancun
With
because
Seth.
of Joe Thuney. Yeah, with Seth because of Joe Thuney. Danielle Hunter couldn't get close to this man. A, because the ball got out. B, because of the scheme. And C, because of Joe Thuney. Thank you, Maple. We don't have the Chiefs reaching the Super Bowl unless Joe Thuney. Put it on me, coach. What? And then it galvanizes everybody else. It galvanizes Patrick. It galvanizes Kareem. Hollywood Brown comes back. I think kind of to Christian's point, in the grand scheme of things, it's not just winning in spite of a plan. It's everybody who could come back, did come back, and it's people sacrificing for the greater good, which also wasn't a part of the plan. I'm not asking Isaiah Pacheco to be like running back 2. That's not his job. Hey, man, can you be running back 2 and be like maybe overqualified? Hey, DJ Humphries, can you just be an awesome, assistant coach? Like, I'm really looking forward to talking to DJ because I'm like, I get the sense that he's basically Joe Thuney's coach.
Yeah.
And they've gotten away with it.
Like coach/stunt double. Like if something happens, he can step in. Yeah.
Of course. Yeah. And even Andy today, if you're wondering, said, yes, I know you get 2 extra weeks. I know the Eagles have a good defensive line. Yes, Jalen Carter exists. He's like, I can't change now. I can't go back. It's Joe Thuney and Mike Caliendo till I die. Thank you, Maple.
Maple has been galvanized. It really is.
My family came home. That's why my dog's so happy.
So excited.
Holly and Hayden have arrived.
And they're both wearing Joe Thuney jerseys, which has Maple absolutely losing.
Put Joe Thuney in the bus right now, kitten.
They should at least get his measurements like
right now.
You know, just like get him on stage on Monday night. Get out there. Okay, actually, hold on. Hey, Tucker, if you're listening, you don't have to do anything here. Don't sweat it. I know you're doing 400 other things. Tucker, I need you to travel with a Taylor's tape. And so when you get to Joe Thuney's face. Joe Thuney, a robot, but as far as I can tell, a kind one. I need you to get to Joe Thuney during media night and just say, pardon me, don't mind me, and just start measuring. Measure his back. Measure it down the armpit. Do whatever Taylors do. And when he asks you what you're doing, this has to be recorded. This must be mic'd up. You say, I was just getting your Hall of Fame jacket ready. Because I'll tell you what. I don't think you're going to see his teeth. You might get a smirk out of Joe Thuney for that. And I think if anyone is appropriately qualified to achieve that bit and pull that off, it is Tucker D. Franklin. The D stands for definitely a trained Taylor. I think he can do that.
Ladies and gentlemen, Joe Thuney is a 4-time Super Bowl champ, a 3-time Pro Bowler All-Pro, and in a matter of 9 years, kids, 9, he will have gone to 6 Super Bowls.
That's ridiculous. That is so silly.
I used to say this to Brock Bowers in college. You ain't got to play another down.
No.
You ain't got to play another down after next Sunday, son.
That is awesome. Okay, Tucker, don't let me down. Don't let us down. And don't let Joe Thuney down, okay?
Yes.
I feel like that's your assignment.
Don't let Joe Thuney down. Don't let him escape you, okay? I know this is good. Like, let's say they win.
And then and get a picture with Ethan Driscoll. That's my other thing for you, Tucker.
Yeah.
I need you to get a picture standing next to Ethan Driscoll. Yeah, see if he'll pick you up.
Let's say they win on Super Bowl Sunday.
So far, so good.
He will have put together perhaps a more impressive postseason, late regular season run than Eric Fisher, Mitchell Schwartz, Orlando Brown Jr., Donovan Smith. What are we doing?
Andrew Wiley and Nick Allegretti got paid off their post.
Paid. And by the way, Andrew Wiley had an amazing postseason run in 2022.
Yeah.
It doesn't get talked about as much because, he plays right tackle, not left tackle. Right. Mitchell Schwartz, an elite right tackle. Like Hall of Fame talent at right tackle, doesn't have Hall of Fame resume. He spent half his career with the Cleveland Browns. What can I say?
Right. Not
all of us can be Joe Thuney going from Tom Brady to Patrick Mahomes.
No kidding. Unbelievable. Take a jacket with you. Just take a gold jacket with you.
Sir, I need you to step over here into these 3 mirrors.
Yes. I want him to have like the wrist thing that has all the pins, the pin cushion on his wrist. Like I need Tucker to have pins sticking out of his mouth and the tape wrapped around his shoulder. Yes. I need Tucker to be in a well-tailored outfit himself.
Yeah, he's already smoking a cigar when you're not supposed to be smoking a cigar in the
Superdome. Who's gonna stop you? Okay, Tucker, here's your last one. Alternatively, you can just have your phone charger in your hand and then just start prodding Joe Thuney with it when he asks why you're poking him with the phone charger. You can just say looking for a port because you're running out of juice. I think the Taylor is a much better idea, to be clear. That is my first suggestion first. Backup plan is the phone charger thing, but I don't think you should touch him. I don't think you should touch him against his will. You don't have to touch him to do the measurement thing. You can get that from a little bit of distance.
It's absurd.
I had something else about the plan. Oh yeah, you've said it also. It was just that like the in spite of the plan, all of the changes and everything, the most impressive parts of winning in spite of the plan not going according to the plan. I think it says a lot about the guys who step up and keep you from thinking about Rashee Rice in the playoffs, right? Like we could be in a spot right now where we're going, man, yeah, they look okay and they've made it this far, but I just don't know if the offense has it. Man, can you imagine if Rashee Rice was out there? We haven't done that really because Juju Smith-Schuster has caught the balls that have gotten to him. He has turned up field when he's had the opportunity. There are a bunch of guys you could use in that example, right?
Yes.
Oh man, think about how brutal the left tackle season has been. If Mike Caliendo was getting like absolutely exposed right now, he's the 5th best lineman on that line of 5. He's playing with 4 very good ones around him, so whatever. But like,
yeah,
it's those guys stepping up. But I think that's secondary to something that you already mentioned, which is that when nothing goes according to plan and you still win at the end, who do you look to? And in this case, you look at Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid, Steve Spagnuolo, Chris Jones. to some extent, Trent McDuffie, if you want, like the stars,
Yeah.
the stars are part of it. But the guys who are like, and McDuffie's kind of in the middle ground here. He's just younger than a guy like Chris Jones. The stars are certainly part of it, but there are the tone setters and the tempo setters, the guys that I don't want to completely get into like the cult of culture or whatever it is. But I don't think Travis Kelce lost any sleep this year wondering who was going to play at left tackle. I think Travis Kelce always believed they were going to figure it out.
Right.
Patrick Mahomes maybe did lose some sleep about who was playing at left tackle, but I don't think he ever thought we're so bleeped at left tackle right now that we're going to lose this football game. And when the Chiefs thought that, they made a change.
They did
in games when that was we may lose this game because of our left tackle play, emergency button, and then that is nice job stepping up Joe Thuney, nice job stepping up Wanya Morris, etc.
Mm-hmm.
But when you have a quarterback who also was not playing his absolute best football and certainly did not have his best overall surrounding circumstances, you get to the playoffs with your head above water, or in their case, with the 1 seed secured with an extra week to go, and then it comes together in the postseason again. It is, I mean,
Josh,
it's unbelievable.
I just want to remind everybody, when other shows, and I'm not saying this like negatively, I'm just trying to give you an accurate representation. Oh, Jesus. Good Lord.
Compared to us, I mean.
When you watch other shows next week during Super Bowl week from New Orleans, they're going to put up stats on the screen. That's what they have to do. Here are the comparative stats between the Chiefs and the Eagles. The actual comparative stats that are worthwhile are actually on the Chiefs' defense. Those are more in line with the unit.
Yes.
When they show you these offensive stats on the screen, just know that ain't real anymore.
Yep.
They didn't, ladies and gentlemen, they didn't start running RPOs until mid-December. They didn't use diamond formations until they had to start winning games. All right. They were using a fullback as a running back in week 3. Okay, as Josh said earlier, all the wide receiver nonsense, right? All of it. Trading for DeAndre Hopkins. Where does he fit? Where does Juju Smith-Schuster fit? Where, like, again, who is the third tight end? They run multiple tight end sets. Noah Gray, for a portion of this season, was outpacing Travis Kelce in production because people smartly were double teaming Travis Kelce. So none of those offensive stats matter. At one point, ladies and gentlemen, Patrick Mahomes had more interceptions than touchdowns, and then he stopped throwing interceptions. Like he just made a decision, not doing that anymore. Or if he threw a ball that had a chance to be intercepted, his rookie wide receiver yanked it out of another defender's hands.
Seriously.
These stats are so funny to look at because I've already looked at them, ladies and gentlemen, and I said, I can't use this. None of these offensive stats matter. None of them. You should really only look at stats from December 15th, the first time they played. Was it December 15th? Whenever they played the Cleveland Browns, essentially. Through the season, through where we are now. That's the only stats you should be looking at, right? It's the only ones.
The time they started playing a guard at tackle.
Yeah, pretty much. That's it. All that other stuff is like doing whatever was necessary to win whatever game week that was. I mean, it's just they stopped turning. He threw 2 picks against the Buffalo Bills and said, "Never again. Not on again. My watch.
Nope, no more.
No more." What?
Good luck, Cooper DeJean.
What? Like, what are we doing? So the defensive stats tell a lot of the season. The offensive ones are just they just make you laugh because you can, based on some of the data we have, you can click on home and road monthly. First half, second half. None of these, you keep clicking and you're like, none of them make sense. None of them.
You really can't. You can't use any of those tools either because you were right about December 15th for Cleveland. You can't take all those though because at the end of the season, Carson Wentz went out there and put up an absolute goose egg against the Broncos. So you have to do okay, so the Chiefs week 15, 16, and 17.
Not 18.
The divisional round in the AFC Championship game. You have
games.
5 games of
Hey,
real
Vic Fangio, 5 games, kid. That's all we got.
But I genuinely, I wonder what their prep looks like in terms of what they are actually looking at. Because you got 5 games and all and the 3 regular season ones all ended with the Chiefs not really trying to score anymore. Like they stopped trying to score before the game was over, right?
Right.
Like you got blowout, Kareem Hunt slide, blowout, basically.
Yeah.
So you might have 3 quarters, half a game, 2 postseason games. All right, Vic.
Good luck.
It may run toss power trap with me. Who's to say? Amazing. We'll talk more about the receivers next on Tuesday. We'll do more defense probably.
Yeah.
I think we did a pretty good amount of offensive stuff here. We'll talk more defense on Tuesday. Plus Nate and Tucker's experience at media night. I don't want to overpromise what Tucker will bring on Tuesday's show. I'm guessing he's going to be outrageously busy, but I want nothing more than I would just sit in in the corner of this video like a React channel, just watching the 2 of you talk about your media night experience. But we'll figure it out.
Hey Tucker, let's give the people what they want on Monday night. Which, by the way, who in their right mother's idea decided that media night was going to start at 9 o'clock local time for the Chiefs? 9 to 10 o'clock.
The first night of Super Bowl week. You want all these players, coaches, and worst of all, reporters out there until 10 p.m. in the Superdome? They got to go back and write somewhere else. You're not gonna. You're gonna see. You're gonna see the turn of midnight, Monday to Tuesday of Super Bowl week. Oh God, what time is their Tuesday media? Do they have? Is it
It's like
11
6
a.m.? Okay,
no.
there you go.
But guess what, kids? On Monday, it might as well be 6 a.m. because it's gonna get. It's a joy. I'll appreciate every second of it.
Not every second of it.
Some things could have gone better though, from a planning standpoint, per the NFL.
Listen,
start drinking early, Nate.
Start drinking water.
Yes,
early.
coffee.
Yeah, we need
espresso.
I need you to be awake and hydrated at least to start the week, and then Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Who cares?
Right. Yeah, I just want to get to Friday and maybe have a nice daiquiri, but we'll see. When I was a young kid, a young whippersnapper, they had these things called hurricanes on Bourbon Street. I'm sure they still do. It's a spring break specialty, guys. You want to lose a night, take a couple of those down real good. So look, it'll be a test of your will, of your mental fortitude, and hopefully, I will ask Andy Reid a question in front of the entire world that is definitely live streaming this at God knows whatever time, Coach. My voice sounds right? It's not a dead giveaway that I'm dying inside. that my esophagus is going through it.
Take some emergency beignets with you. Have them in a little pocket.
You can have beignets at 7 a.m., 2 p.m., 7 p.m., 4 a.m.
Deal. Challenge accepted.
Can't wait. Hurricane Ari, always be worried of a drink that arrives on fire.
Fly safe, Nate. We'll all be thinking about you.
Godspeed.
Stay hydrated.
Thank you, sir.